August 2004. Still living in North Ridgeville, Ohio. Still working at Frame Art Galleries, framing people's pictures and things. And still reading books, of course. And that's what we're here for, to talk about the books that I read. So, the first book, excuse me, the first book in August of 2004 is The Descent by Jeff Long. And in this book, there's a dead body, some other mysteries all around the world, things going crazy. Basically, it comes down to the world discovers that there is this labyrinth of tunnels beneath the Earth's surface, and there is an ancient race that lives in these tunnels, and it's possible that they could be demons, or they could be the thing that caused people to create the myth of demons. Got to solve the mystery of what these things are, why people are being killed. And this is a book in the vein of James Rawlins stuff, Douglas Preston, Lincoln Child type stuff, those sort of thrillers with horror elements or scientific elements. In this case, there's also espionage, because governments and corporations and things are going to get involved. But I like this type of book, especially when they throw in a horror element. But I like lost races and things as well. So The Descent by Jeff Long. After that, we have Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them by Al Franken. This is a book of comedy essays where Al Franken is just throwing punches at the right-leaning people, politically speaking. And he talks about dirty tricks that right-wing politicians use. According to the description, the myth of media having a liberal bias. He goes after the Bush administration, and I'm a fan of Al Franken. I'm a fan of his comedy and his writing. Really enjoyed this book. Thought it was very funny and very informative. Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them by Al Franken. Then we have Angel, Fearless by Dorana Durgan, or however you say that name. And so, in the TV show Angel, a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel is a vampire with a human soul, but he has all the strengths and weaknesses of a vampire. And then his crew, he's a private detective in Los Angeles. His crew, made up of a bunch of humans, for the most part, and they come back from a case one night, and the humans on the crew are feeling great. They're all beat up and their clothes are torn up. They've been in a battle, but they feel great. They're healing super fast. And Angel is worn out. He's not healing. So basically, they've sort of switched places. And it has something to do with, I think it's called demon dust. And so the humans want to go back out, get into more fights, and get another hit of this demon dust. Angel's a little more reluctant, has to do things a little more subtly because he's not healing from any wounds or anything. So it's a switcheroo between the vampire and the humans. And of course, they got to figure out what the hell's going on. And it's probably not a good thing if the humans keep coming into contact with this demon dust. That's Angel, Fearless by Dorana Durgan. Then we have Brimstone by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. This is an Agent Pendergast novel. There's a murder. Pendergast is investigating. On the wall at the murder scene is this scorched paw print and the smell of sulfur. And Pendergast learns that there was a group of people who called something up, something like that. And perhaps whatever this thing was that got called up is out for revenge. Pendergast is going to figure it out. Love Preston and Child, love the Pendergast books, love when there's a supernatural element thrown in, or maybe there isn't. You never know. Sometimes there's a scientific explanation. That's half the fun. Brimstone by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. After that, we have Zombies by Walter Greatshell, and that's zombies with an X instead of a Z. And the only thing I remembered about this book is I didn't like it. It's the first in an entire series, and I've never read another one because I didn't like this one. But essentially, there's a thing called Agent X that is turning people either, I don't remember, but either into regular, like, Romero type zombies, actual dead rising, or into rage zombies, like 28 Days Later. I don't recall which. Either way, it's a problem. Our main character is Lulu. I believe she's a 17-year-old, and she has a medical condition that makes her immune to Agent X, and she's trying to travel north, maybe even all the way up to Canada or Alaska, because there's supposed to be a safe haven there. But of course, there's going to be plenty of zombie-related trials and tribulations along the way. Zombies with an X by Walter Greatshell. Then we have Star Wars X-Wing Starfighters of Adumar by Aaron Alston. This is a Wraith Squadron book. Wraith Squadron is like the Black Ops group of the rebellion. And there's this planet, Adumar, that hasn't chosen sides in the war, the conflict between the rebels and the Empire. But they're ready to make a choice. They want people from the rebellion and people from the Empire to come to the planet so they can choose. But they're a warrior society, so they want fighter pilots from both factions to show up, and there's going to be competitions. Their own warriors are going to attack the Wraith Squadron and the Empire people, and there's always political intrigue going on. So Wedge Antilles, head of the Wraith Squadron, is going to have to deal with all this stuff and try to get this kind of a powerhouse planet to join the rebellion side of the conflict. So that's Star Wars X-Wing Starfighters of Adumar by Aaron Alston. Next up, we have Numbered Account by Christopher Reich, and this is the debut novel from Christopher Reich. I don't know what else he's written, but it's about a guy named Nicholas Newman, and he's got like the perfect life, but he's haunted by the murder of his father 17 years ago, I think. And so he starts looking into it, is willing to give up everything he's got to try to solve it. And it has to do with his father's work at a Swiss bank. And so he gets a job at that Swiss bank and starts looking into things. And of course, that's going to bring out possibly some murderers, things messing with him. Got to keep things, he can't have him solving anything. So this is a thriller set in the world of not just high finance, but specifically Swiss banking. And the author, Christopher Reich, worked in a Swiss bank for 3 years, so it's adding that truthful detail to the story. And I seem to recall, I have this vague feeling that I remember what the mystery was, some elements of why the father was killed, and what's his name, Nicholas Newman, is dealing with. It could be completely wrong. I could be thinking of a completely different book. But I think I seem to recall enjoying this book. And I like a nice thriller or mystery set in a very specific sort of world that I'm not familiar with, such as Swiss banking. So Numbered Account by Christopher Reich. Then we have Smallville Curse by Alan Grant, based on the TV show Smallville. And in the show, well established that when Kal-El, when his rocket came to Earth, to Smallville, Kansas, it was sort of shielded by a meteor shower of essentially kryptonite. So nobody was, they were like, oh, it's a meteor shower. No one was like, hey, there's a rocket ship in the middle of that meteor shower. But anyway, within the mythos of Smallville, the sort of monster of the week are people that were affected by kryptonite, and it's given them weird powers and things. But in this book, someone discovers essentially a witch's diary. It's 150 years old. That seems to imply that the problems are actually caused by a curse that has been put on the town of Smallville. Once this news gets out, people start going nuts. Clark Kent, still not in full control of his powers, has to put a stop to it, has to figure things out and save lives. Is he going to do it? Of course he's going to do it. It's Smallville. He's going to grow up and become Superman. Spoilers. But that's Smallville Curse by Alan Grant. The penultimate book for August of 2004 is Double Play by Robert B. Parker. And this is one of his historical novels. And it's about Jackie Robinson. Or is it about, I have to look, Joseph Burke. Excuse me. So this takes place in the year that Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier for Major League Baseball. And Joseph Burke is a World War II veteran who has been hired to be the bodyguard for Jackie Robinson. So it's fictionalized history. There's going to be plenty of accurate historical facts, but there's going to be also some drama elements, maybe some mystery elements, as Joseph Burke deals with the shit that Jackie Robinson had to deal with. And possibly, I don't remember this, but I tend to think with a story like this, it's going to be kind of that dealing with his own prejudices kind of thing. But it's Robert B. Parker, the writing's going to be good. So it's Double Play by Robert B. Parker. And finally, the last book that I read in August of 2004 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer / Angel Cursed by Mel Odom. And this is actually is about Spike and Angel. This is when Spike has the government chip in his head that keeps him from being able to harm humans. And so he's got to get his violent tendencies out. So he's been fighting demons and stuff. And all these demons are pissed at him. And they're just trying to take him out. And at the same time, Angel is in Los Angeles dealing with some mysterious artifact. Spike's issues are going to lead him to LA. He and Angel, who are both in love with Buffy, are going to have to team up and figure things out. So it's about, two very popular characters from the Buffy and Angel TV shows, and two characters with a long, long history, and the conflicts. They have to work together, but they have conflicting personalities. So if you're a fan of Spike and Angel, I think you'd like this book, Buffy the Vampire Slayer / Angel Cursed by Mel Odom. And that's everything that I read in August of 2004. Question for this video: what is your favorite type of zombie? Basically, well, the most basic, you've got the slow Romero zombies, where your biggest issue is numbers. There's one or two, easily outrun those. When there's a horde, might be having some problems. Then you've got the fast zombies, your Return of the Living Dead zombies, your Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake zombies. A little more dangerous than Romero zombies because they can run after you. And then, I'm reluctant, but I'll go with 28 Days Later zombies, which are fast, insane. I say not really zombies because they are simply infected humans. Zombies traditionally, taking Return of the Living Dead off the table because they did some weird stuff, but traditionally, zombies, shoot them in the head, they're down. 28 days later, they're not undead beings, shoot them in the heart. That'll kill them. Cut off their arms and legs, or just an arm, or whatever. They can bleed to death. But some people contend they're zombies because they're essentially mindless. So we'll throw that in there. And then, of course, in literature and things and other movies, there's different varieties of zombies. The zombies from Brian Keene's The Rising are very different. Big fan of those types of zombies. And I haven't read all the zombie literature. I haven't watched all the zombie movies. So I'm sure there's some type that I'm not aware of. I know there's, like in the movie Fido, there's domesticated zombies. So, do you have a favorite type? Do you prefer them slow and shambling? Do you prefer them fast? Do you think that the 28 days later infected are actually zombies? Is there a different type of zombie that you've read or seen that you think is the best type of zombie? For me, I really like the zombies in the Rising universe. And I'm not going to tell you specifics about what make them different if you haven't read the books. But there's there's reasons, very good reasons, I think, for why I prefer those. Fast zombies might be scarier in terms of real world because they're fast, but I mean the Romero movies, man, those slow zombies just keep on coming, and it's creepier, I think, when they're just shuffling along. The thing with the Romero movies and things with slow zombies, it always the end, the thing that messes us up is always human error. Somebody does something wrong, somebody slips or trips and ends up getting bit, um, or accidentally sets their truck on fire and it blows up. um, so for creepy factor, I don't know. Slow zombies are just super creepy. Um, but let me know. Let me know your favorite type of zombie. You can throw in your favorite zombie book, favorite zombie movie if you like, in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. Try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'm still hanging on at Twitter at Ronin5757. On Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, fuzzy animals, it's Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. And on Bluesky, where I'm trying to be a little more active, see if I can wean myself off of Twitter, replace it with Bluesky, but I'm at EL Smith. That's all I have for you this week, so until next week, read more books.